Hi, you're listening to What's New Today. This is a kids and family podcast about current events shaping our world. This is your host, Sangeeta. I'm from India. In this episode, which is part of the Fake or Real podcast series, we take one news story and we evaluate if this piece of news is fake or if it's for real. And joining me in this episode are
Hi, my name is Vedanshi. I'm 12 years old and I'm in grade 7. I have recently relocated to Malaysia.
wonderful. Have you made friends yet in the neighborhood where you're staying in?
Not yet because we don't have a house yet. We live in a service apartment.
A seventh grader, I'm sure you'll make a ton of friends as quickly as you can once you get into one of those large communities or condominiums in Kuala Lumpur. Good luck with the relocation, Vedanshi. Exciting times ahead for middle schooler. And on to our second guest on the show.
Hi, my name is Bhavna. I'm Vedanshi's mom. I'm an HR professional with 16 years of experience, but currently I'm on a sabbatical because of this relocation.
I hope that the sabbatical is working out well and you can explore a lot of Malaysia, which are not too far from Kuala Lumpur and Kuala Lumpur itself. You guys have some plans?
Yeah, certainly. Priority is settling down with school and house, and the next on the line is exploring Malaysia.
Wonderful. So, do you have any other interests beyond, traveling and your work?
Yes, I love to read. I love to listen to music. I've learned Reiki, so I practice that.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful to have you on board. So, without much ado, let's jump into today's topic. So, the topic, as I should alert all of our listeners, this was a topic that we shared with Vedanshi and Bhavna earlier. So, they've had some time to go through this topic and do some independent reviews on their own to understand how far the information given in this news story is accurate, or if not, which parts are inaccurate and we shouldn't be relying on that. The news story that I'm about to read was published in the Hindustan Times, and it reads as: you should replace your regular salt with Sendha namak. So, for those of our listeners who don't know what Sendha namak is a kind of a salt which is formed when salt water from any water body evaporates and leaves behind colorful crystals of sodium chloride. So, you typically find this mined from the mountains of Himalayas. You'll find that this salt has a little bit of a pinkish reddish color. In the article that was published in the Hindustan Times, a dietitian is quoted and she says everybody should add Sendha namak to their dishes in place of regular table salt because it helps to alleviate us of digestive ailments, including stomach worms. So, how did you like the topic and when you all were researching?
We liked the topic. It was very interesting to find out because we did not know if it was true or fake. So it sort of created like an urge to research more to actually find out what it was.
According to me, I mean, it was definitely interesting. It's a common topic. We use the salt almost every day, and speak to my mom-in-law. But it was interesting as we researched because whenever it comes to a topic of health, uh, we observe that it is run by popular opinions of people, right? And people choose to blindly follow so many things, uh, not necessarily being backed by scientific evidence. For example, is brown bread better over white bread? Or which amongst the plethora of fad diets should one follow? Or even
Yeah.
something leaning towards superstition, like you shouldn't stand and drink water, else it's harmful to your knees.
Really?
So, yeah.
Never heard that. Okay. You live and you
Yeah.
learn. Hmm.
So, researching this likewise, just kind of, um, you know, I- it helped us take that one foot forward and actually understand uh, the basic as to what is the difference between the different kinds of salts, and then understanding the daily consumption limits. And then I'm sure when we have a conversation on this topic further, we are now going to be able to add a little bit of more information and validity when we talk to other people about this.
Wow, so you're going to be a salt authority right after this podcast recording. Right? Okay. So, Vedanshi, what do you think? Is this fake or real? Or do you want to first start telling us what you understood of this article? And you will gradually tell us whether it is fake or real towards the end of the conversation. How do you want to do it?
I'll gradually tell our listeners by the end of the conversation.
Suspense. Okay. Is there a scientific reason for us to believe that this rock salt is a superior form of salt and that we should all be throwing away our regular iodized salt into the garbage and only switch to rock salt?
Actually, as I read the article, it was definitely intriguing to understand that explanations on the benefits of the salt have been quoted by nutritionists from renowned hospitals or organizations. However, it came across more as a point of view rather than scientific evidence. For instance, in the article, a reliable source, WHO, World Health Organization, is quoted to recommend limiting consumption of salt to fewer than 5 grams a day. Now, this is basis scientific evidence. But at the same time, the article also continues to quote that many, that is, which is generic and not based on any scientific evidence, suggest to replace table salt with Sendha namak or Himalayan pink salt.
Okay, so you're saying that there's a very good basis to believe that we should limit how much salt we have, but there is no good basis to believe that that salt should only be Sendha namak. It can be
Yes.
either a regular table salt or it can be a little bit of Sendha namak, no harm done. I know there are many articles out there on the internet which speak about how Sendha namak is very helpful. Which parts of whatever you read did you think was valid?
So there are many benefits. I'm not sure because since this topic is not verified, I'm not sure if the benefits can be verified as well.
Very
But
valid point, yeah.
there are a few like weight loss and helps in like your liver stay healthy and your kidneys and all that.
Well, Sangeeta, we looked up a lot of articles around this topic. Um, but what we observed is that a lot of content which is out there, they're mostly in the form of blogs written by nutritionists.
Hmm.
So these are what nutritionists think as popular opinion or point of view.
Hmm.
The only little bit of information, at least on Indian websites, is on the Ayurvedic websites.
Hmm.
So not necessarily via research, but quoted on these websites. We try to look at information apart from Indian websites if they're there, and we looked at WHO, World Health Organization. We looked at WebMD, which is an American corporation which provides health information services. We looked at PubMed, which is again a repository of medical articles hosted by US National Library, National Health Information Services. But we did not find this information anywhere.
Not to rubbish any traditional medicine, any form of traditional medicine, which may have had a very sound basis for making claims such as this, which includes, say, in the case of India, it includes Ayurveda. And there will be something in each one of these hilly regions also. Those people have consumed it, and there may be some, basis for it in their respective traditional forms of diet intake. But all that said, if someone had to say authoritatively and stamp, we are very, very sure Sendha Namak is the best. We should all stop buying that white color powdered salt altogether. That we still don't know. Is that what you're saying?
That's absolutely right. So
Okay.
it's always a good idea to have both, but not substitute one completely. It is important that we remember what WHO says, which is adhering to a daily consumption limit of salt, which is 5 grams a day.
Each individual should not have more than 1 teaspoon of salt. If you can go on Google and you can look up an image of a teaspoon, that's how much salt each one of us should have in our food. To finally reveal to our listeners if this is fake or real, if you got this a news article as a forward, via WhatsApp from one of your friends, and if you had to forward it to somebody else, A, will you forward it at all? B, if you chose to forward it, how would you modify the language or what kind of additional information will you add before you forward it?
I would choose B. I would forward it because you are at the end spreading right information, but I would modify it as well that limit your consumption and that not only to add Sendha namak to your food, but also to add your normal salt as well.
Okay.
Um, I wouldn't mass forward it. I would forward it to a group of people that I know I can have discussions
Hmm.
with, or take it a step further. And I would add, saying that this needs to be researched a little more, or to read a little bit before just following it.
Wow, yeah, I like the idea how you added the disclaimer that I wouldn't mass forward it. So, because you said that, so I have this question: would you post this on social media? Because social media is ultimately a form of mass broadcast only, right?
No, I wouldn't post this.
Vedanshi, are you familiar with the words social media?
Yeah, social media is a platform where many people connect together and they get to see maybe videos or photos or anything that a person posts or shares.
Okay, so and if you had to post this news article, what do you think would happen?
If I would post it, then maybe people would be still neutral, some people, but some people would want to go ahead and start using Sendha namak instead of table salt, because this news article is still not verified if it's fake or true. That's why many people would still have confusion.
So, final verdict: fake or real? Where do we move the needle?
So, well, part of the topic is real and part of the topic is fake. Like the first part of the topic, that is why you should replace regular salt with Sendha namak, is not entirely true, as is still not based on scientific evidence. But the second part of the topic, which is how much to consume, is real, as this is backed by scientific research.
So, next time you go to the supermarket, you'll pick a packet of this and a packet of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. All right. Wonderful. It was really lovely having both of you. Do you have any riddles? Anything that you wanted to share, Vedanshi? Usually you do. That's why I asked this question.
Yeah, Vedanshi has one second.
This is a joke. Why does salt make everything taste better? Because it's sodium.
Lovely. Is there any podcast on What's New Today that you really liked and would like to recommend to our listeners?
Yes, I liked how NASA sent a spacecraft to crash into an asteroid. It was very fun because NASA always coming up with these different missions, which are always fun to listen to.
Well, I like the episode on the coral reefs and how one third of the coral reefs are being brought back in Australia. That was very heartening to know.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing your recommendations. We'll share these with our listeners and we'll leave links to these in the show notes below. It was fabulous chatting with both of you. And I hope our listeners have something interesting to take away. That please don't rely on everything that you read, especially about food and diet, very, very blindly. Take everything with a pinch of salt, pun totally intended. So thanks, Bhavna. Thanks, Vedanshi. As special shout out to Bhavna because, like I always say, kids love to come and speak. They love to do their research, share their opinions. Bhavna, thank you for being such a sport and assisting Vedanshi. Vedanshi, would you say that you got much more out of his research because your mom helped you, or you would have anyway just hit the ball out of the park by yourself?
No, I got a lot of information because my mother helped me. Because I had still not reached conclusions after I did my mini research. So my mother helped me a lot.
Wonderful. When you're 12, yeah, I'm sure you'll acknowledge your mother's support and role. We shall hope that it stays that way. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you,
Yeah.
Sangeeta.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.